Well, Yemen is not a large nation, about twice the size of Wyoming here in the United States, but some very big countries are fighting for its future, and as always, civilians are caught in the middle. Houthi rebels are battling for control of the city of Aden. They are Shia and backed by Iran. The raid against them is the might of a Sunni Arab coalition led by Saudi Arabia. Amid airstrikes and ground battles, the International Red Cross is facing huge challenges getting aid into conflict zones. Now, people in Aden have been without water for almost a week, and with casualties mounting, observers say it's not safe to remove bodies from the streets. Well, our friend Ron Granieri is with the Foreign Policy Research Institute, and he joins us again. Is this a proxy war between Shia and Sunni and Saudi Arabia?
Well, that is certainly part of it. I mean, Yemen has a lot of homegrown problems. So the Houthi rebels represent just one of several groups that are unhappy in Yemen. But it is definitely true that the problems in Yemen raise all of these, they hit all of these hot buttons.
Okay, we have a lot to unpack here.
Sure.
I just want to start by make a statement here. We've talked a lot in this area, in this region of the Middle East, about the Strait of Hormuz.
Yes.
And what that means with Iran there, the United Arab Republic in Oman, Arab Emirates, I should say. I'm losing my mind right now. But there's another strait.
Yes.
On the other side, that's the Bab al-Mandeb Strait. What is the significance of that strait?
Well, it is important because while most of the oil fields are close to the Persian Gulf, and so they come out the Gulf and out the Strait of Hormuz, if you are going up through the Suez Canal, you have to come up around the peninsula, and you got to go through that strait to go up the Red Sea. And so out of on any given day, about 43 million barrels of oil are on tankers. And of those, about 3.5 or so, or a little bit less, million barrels of oil are on tankers that turn around and go up through that strait to go up through the Suez Canal to get to Europe and places like that.
Okay, so of course oil once again is front and center, I would have to say on this, but also what is Iran's overall involvement in this?
I mean, it's hard to say directly, but the Iranians realize, and they've always understood, that there are Sunni population, or Shiite populations, I should say, scattered from the east coast, the eastern province of Saudi Arabia through Bahrain and then down through the southern part of the peninsula, who feel oppressed by the largely Sunni monarchies and other governments that govern them. And so the Iranians have always been in the background as a potential patron to Shiite groups. And that's, the Saudis have always viewed Iran, especially since the revolution of '79, have always viewed Iran as a potential troublemaker.
Okay, a tricky situation here,
yes.
Ron, because we see right now that the U.S. obviously is backing somewhat Iran in
yes.
the war against Iraq,
yes.
but they're on the other side of this. Yes. And you're playing one side against the other here. Where do we stand? How do we benefit in a situation like this? Well, when I say the United States.
The United States, I mean, part of the problem for the Obama administration is President Obama has taken the position very strongly that the way to improve the whole situation in the region is to have a rapprochement between Iran and the United States. And he has been willing to push forward with the nuclear deal as part of this larger vision that better relations between Washington and Tehran will improve these other areas. And as a result, these other areas have been sort of have been factored out of the direct negotiations about the nuclear deal.
Okay, question, and this is the last one here.
Sure.
How much should the U.S. be involved? Simply because of the fact, if Muslims are fighting against each other, yes. and the United States is not involved except for maybe just backing by weapons and stuff, that keeps us out of the picture, perhaps.
It does. It does.
And that's a good thing.
It could be a good thing. The big challenge for the United States and for the Obama administration, for all of us, is if we want to be less involved in the Middle East, we have to be willing to accept the possibility that other states with strong interests will get involved with each other. And we have to decide where our pain threshold is, right? How much are we willing to let happen without feeling as though we have to get involved?
Okay, well, you know, obviously what we're seeing right now in that area after this Arab Spring that took place a few years ago, that at least other Arab countries are getting more actively involved, at least militarily,
Indeed.
with boots on the ground. Ron Granieri, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Julian. It's always a pleasure.
All righty.